with the town starting off at like 10% and growing to 100% over 5 years.
Thanks. I just wanted to see if it was something on paper or just, because I think that's important to have that discussion, especially when we get to approval process. I think we actually have to have that when we get approved in the town council. But, yeah, because I think, supporting this resolution, I mean, everything I pretty much agree with everything you said, as far as from the position and the grants. There are a lot of grants out there and foundations in this area that we're not tapping. I'm actually on board, so there's money out there.
We'll be more than happy to lay that out sometime in the future. That's beyond what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
But we'll be happy to lay that out as a programmatic approach to bringing on a full-time person here in the town.
I have just a couple of questions, and my hearing's not the greatest either. You forgive me if you've already answered them. But I know that with the grants that you've pursued to this point, I'm pretty sure that a municipality could not apply for those grants, but it had to be a civic organization. So when we hire a developer, an economic developer, how would that work? If he works for the town, how would it work for him to apply for these civic type?
He wouldn't be able to apply for a grant for this particular trust.
Okay.
Because the eligible organizations are Chatham First, Chatham Rotary Foundation, the two local organizations, Virginia Tech, and had a little competition there. And
Yeah, that's not great. So who would apply?
Early childhood development program in Denver.
Civic organizations as part of.
Would
the-
apply for that, but what we would
Yeah.
apply
And
for,
Yeah, the intent would be that, just like I mentioned, the civic organizations are a resource to this person. And their eligibility to apply for grants, is part of his resource, and part of his, more or less his staff in a sense. To reach out to them and,
And that person's role would really be to say here, Chatham First needs to apply for this grant, Chatham Rotary Club needs to apply
so
for
they
this
would be
grant.
scoping
They would
out.
still be agents,
Gotcha,
yes.
that's
gotcha,
right.
I
That's
understand.
part of this collaboration that we're talking about. We did the growth renewal plan, and the phase 2 is all under what we call the steering committee. The Chatham Rotary Foundation guided that, but then we had representatives from different groups involved in that, and in different individuals. So it works in a very similar fashion. Now, as a employee of the town, as an employee of a municipality, this person would have access to things we don't have access to.
Right.
State grants, federal grants, things like that.
Like
And you're
USDA,
not
Virginia
excluded.
Department of Housing, and.
And you're not excluded from things like the community foundation. I know the town of Chatham has applied for grants there before, and I think has an outstanding grant request
Yeah.
now or something with the community foundation, so the town can go to these different organizations.
So the key really is the collaboration.
That's right,
I mean,
and
that's-
each piece contributing,
I get you.
not
Like the
overlapping and not merging,
Yeah.
whatever, it's really about coordinating it.
The traffic record.
Right.
Okay, well, I have to say this. You know that I hope you know that I'm devoted to this. And it's sort of in my DNA that I want, I love this town so much, and I want us to take advantage of this opportunity because it's a very limited number of people or municipality situations that have access to it. And I would think that we're almost being negligent for the people if we don't pursue those things. I'm sure other people may not feel that way, but to me, if the money's there, then we should do our part in pursuing it or facilitating the pursuit of it. And so we will read this, but before I let you leave, you two never since, I mean, I'm just amazed at what you get accomplished and what you do. And I hope that my life will be a testament of using what, you know, God has given each one of us to, as long as we can. And so I really, really, really respect both of you, and I appreciate so much your succinctness. You know, I know it took a long time to prepare, but I understood everything you were saying. I followed everything you're saying. And so that gives us the tools we need to then try to explain it to others on council who, you know, may struggle a bit with the concept. And it also helps us to explain to the community. So I'm very, very grateful for your continued work. As long as I've known you, you both have never stopped. And so I'm very appreciative of that. And we may have more questions, but my goal is to have us look at this. And we have a meeting already set for, what's the date? Is it the 20th or the 27th? Yeah. And so that should give us plenty of time if council chooses to submit this. It should be in plenty of time for the September meeting. Okay?
Thank you for the kind comments.
Thank you.
Appreciate that very
Thank
much.
you guys.
Thank you.
Well, it's
We don't have, you know, we don't have a personal agenda to.
no, and that's
It's all
apparent.
about time.
It's apparent. It's all about the
Feel
parent.
like have the opportunity here that I believe you would be derelict and not taking advantage of, because you're getting free money and you're getting a return, even when the town invests some small west side entry. You're getting a return, you get 2 for 1 or better on your money.
Yeah.
You're paying a fraction of what you would otherwise pay if you did that, if you could do it at all. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
y'all are free. And here we are. But, so, next on the agenda is unfinished business, which is none, and then new business. But before we go on to that, even though it's not listed here, are we free to discuss their comments?
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
Cause it could come under item B.
okay, yeah. I still won't do anything, you know, that was not correct, but do you all have any comments or thoughts about what they said?
I'm with you. I think, and what you say, this is a wonderful opportunity for the town. This puts us in a whole new phase of development of
Yeah, and what Joe told me, I think it was in May, we had a meeting, and he said something that struck me, and he said that because of the limited people who have access to this, if we don't get it, somebody else is. And so I feel like it would be negligent of us not to pursue it. And before, I think I've been on council, 14 years or so, and you've been on there a long time as well, Bill, and we've always wanted an economic developer because it's such a big job, and it seems apparent that we need a central person to drive this forward. That it's huge. I mean, they just said it's an everyday thing. But it also sounds like that will be a great deal of support for the person who takes this on. And so I always think that's valuable, because all the tentacles and tendrils kind of escape me. It's like what you're saying, what's the percentage of funding, and how will this person know what to do? Because we've got to set them up to be successful, and if we don't really know the scope, then it's hard for us to translate that to them.
Exactly. We had a development director for a very short time, and it didn't really work out because we didn't quite know what we were doing.
Right.
I think now the groundwork has been already established. There is a framework for this, there's a directive to it, and now there's a whole lot more in place. We didn't even have the promise of funding. We had
Or direction,
Or
it sounds like
direction.
they've already done that groundwork, and so in my view, if council agrees, we should pursue this.
I think the train is already in leaving.
I do too.
I think we need to jump on.
Right.
It's a great opportunity.